Hi guys, it's Rebecca again. I kind of got emotional when I was trying to explain things before, so now that I'm home and I've had a shower and I'm calmed down a little bit, I figured I'd go into a little bit more detail. Um, Many years ago, I talked about how I had had a heart attack and a stroke, and I spent almost 2 full years in a wheelchair, unable to walk or do anything for myself, let alone wash my hair or take care of my kids or anything like that. And there was somebody doing something bad to me that was causing problems with my immune system. And I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 1998, and I was diagnosed in 2000 with scoliosis. I have a 35% curvature in my spine. So I've had problems with my back off and on since I was a kid, and I've always had allergies, which explains the nice, lovely dark circles under my eyes and some of the other problems that I've had growing up. And now that I'm in my 30s, everything's just, they say everything goes downhill at 30. Well, like some of my other friends, our health actually is going downhill, and we're just trying to figure out if it was what we ate when we were kids or what we did or didn't do. Some of my friends were heavy into drugs and alcohol, and I never did any of those things. So, I never could figure out why I had all these health problems. And so my parents used to joke, "Oh yeah, your dad and I must be cousins," or something like that, because that was the saying when I was growing up was kissing cousins always ended up with retarded children. And to even use the word retarded now is not even beyond words, because they're not retarded. There's nothing wrong with them. They have a disability. They have a handicap, and I have several handicaps actually. So to break things down, the doctor explained to me today. He's been begging me for almost a year to get an MRI. I need to get an MRI of my cervical spine, which is up here in my neck. I have one extra vertebra up there, and it causes some slight curvature in my neck, which it causes a lot of neck pain. And then he wants to get my L spine done, and that's my biggest problem right there. That's where I have a lot of pain. I have a lot of scarring from a heating pad blowing up in my back years ago, and of course, after it was all said and done, all I got out of the lawsuit was like $40 something for the heating pad blowing up on me, and that was basically the cost of the heating pad and to mail it back. So I mean, when people say, "Oh, well, you should sue the company, whatever that you got it from," yeah, sue the company. It has absolutely nothing. You get nothing out of it. I sued a company after I had a heart attack, thinking it was one of the medications that I was on that caused the problems, and well, I got $3,600 out of that one, and it caused a heart attack and a stroke. So, and I was dead for 3.5 minutes. And so, suing everybody isn't, that's not what it's all cracked up to be. So if you want to say sue somebody, you go right ahead, because suing somebody doesn't get you anywhere. It's not going to get you any money. It's not going to get you any help. All it does is just put one more sheet of paper in your medical file. So today I finally broke down and I talked to my doctor, because I have had a lot of numb spots in my back lately. I had pulled muscles here, and on the opposite side here in my back, right in between my shoulder blades. If I move my arms up, you could actually feel underneath the ridge of my scapulas where it was like a bunch of peas lined up underneath the skin, and they were muscle spasms. And I had pulled a muscle right next to my spinal column on either side, those muscles that are attached there to keep your spine together. I had pulled those. Technically, it was considered a sprain. That was 2 weeks ago when I went and saw the chiropractor. And I had pulled a muscle in my right upper quadrant, which is basically right about where my hip bone is in my back. So I had actually pulled a muscle, and there was a golf ball sized knot that I had a massage therapist work on. And let's just say I'm just now getting over the bruise that she left trying to get the knot out. And granted, it worked. She used this stuff called real-time pain relief on me, and I just signed up as a vendor for the company because it's actually working to help with the pain and the swelling and the problems that I have with my back. So it is helping with a lot of problems. So I talked to my doctor today. I saw the chiropractor first because my doctor was running an hour behind, and basically I still have numbness in my back, which is causing problems with my left leg. And my left leg sometimes loses feeling. My right leg is now starting to lose feeling. Half my foot goes numb. So we couldn't figure out what was going on. So he, even with an x-ray, it's not showing, it's showing bone on bone problems in my lower back where my pelvic region is, and I have what they call a hypermobile pelvis. So instead of having that plate in the middle of my pelvis fused, my pelvis shifts individually. So it causes a lot of problems with my spine trying to stay straight, and that's where most of my curvature is in my L spine. So instead of having an L5, I have an L6.5 because I have an extra 1.5 vertebra there, and I have all the discs that are associated with it. And when I was like 20, 21, they wanted to take all those extra pieces out and leave the extra discs in. Well, then I'd end up with, a half an inch difference in my back, and extra padding in my back would have caused problems. And then they wanted to fuse my back, and I don't know if anybody that you've ever known has ever had a spinal fusion or anything like that. It's very dangerous, and it's costly, and they constantly have pain. So I poo-pooed on that one because I don't want any more surgeries. I've already had several. I didn't need any more. So today I saw my chiropractor, and he did more treatment on my back and put another tendon on my back. And trust me, I was in the 30s today. Before I was like 28 and 33, and let's just say I was closer to the 40 range mark on the TENS unit. The girl was like, "Are you sure this is okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, bump it up 2 more notches. I still can't feel it." And she's like, "You're kidding me." And she's saying that she's never seen numbers that high, which is dangerous. And I have a personal TENS unit that I use when I absolutely have to, thanks to a friend of mine. He got a new one from his insurance, and he gave me his old one, which was fabulous. I got that last summer, so it's helped out quite a bit with my back. So I haven't been able to afford to go see my chiropractor because it is costly. And every 3 months I have to go see my regular physician for medication refills. So guess it looks like I'm going to have to start seeing my chiropractor once a month. And I've shrunk half an inch, so I'm not 5'9" anymore. I am now 5'8.5" due to problems with my back. So when I get around to seeing my doctor, who's in the same office, I love them. I've been with them for almost 15 years. Actually, February of this coming year will be 15 years that I've been going to the same chiropractors, the same doctors. So it's nice to know that your doctor knows your medical history and remembers you and calls you by your name instead of a number. So that helps. So he called in the chiropractor, and they talked in the office, and they discussed things. And I have to get an MRI on my back, which is like $300 at the local MRI place. And I don't have $300. I only make $300 a month with the work that I do 7 days a week, because I'm only there for an hour or two a day. And granted, they could pay somebody else to do it, and I live right next door, so why not? And I've grown up with these horses. So then we talked about some of the other issues that I'm having, and I'm bruising really easily. Actually, I broke a blood vessel in my hand today. You can see it really good on the camera. This one here I broke Friday in my hand, and I'm bruising really easily again, and my doctor's been begging me to get an iron test done, and that's expensive. So he wants me to get blood work done, and at Quest it's like $400. Well, there's a new blood draw place local, so hopefully I can get it done there, and that's like $200. But again, coming up with the money is the problem. So he wants me to have my iron levels run, and that will tell him whether or not I need to go back to my hematologist and have another surfactant panel run, which is a protein test that they check for cancer, which is what they did back in 2007, 2008. It was they ran a surfactant panel on me, and I had markers for lymphoma. Come to find out, I have a disease called lymphadenopathy, which is it's in the same family. It's just a lesser version of it. It just means that you have abnormal swelling of your lymph nodes, and I get sore throats really easily. I have problems with my sinuses, which of course I have allergies, which does not help. And then so the doctors discussed some things, and I've got to have some blood work done first to find out what's going on. So basically a normal CBC and differential, and the prothrombin time, which is a PTT, and some other testing, which thankfully my dad's cousin's on our end, so she helped me with understanding what some of the tests were, because I have never had one done. And of course everything's fasting, and he wants my sugar level tested because I've always had hypoglycemia, but when I was pregnant with both my children that are my 2 surviving children, I had gestational diabetes, which it's common with most women, and then I had other health related issues while I was pregnant. So I haven't been the healthiest of persons having children, and hopefully my children don't have my health issues. They seem to be growing up quite nicely, and I got a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old, and so far so good. So hopefully they didn't inherit anything other than my allergies, because I know both of them have those, poor things. So that's just a recap of what's going on, and some of the things that I've been facing today. And I've been feeling kind of poorly lately, and I've been craving things like red meat. I don't eat red meat. I eat poultry and I eat, fish, and that's basically it. That's my diet. I eat a lot of nuts and a lot of legumes and beans and stuff like that. I found out several months back that I was gluten sensitive. I have not been tested for celiac disease because the test is expensive. If anybody's ever had one, they are expensive. So I never got tested for celiac disease. So the doctor just said stop eating wheat and rye and barley, and it's actually helped. But since I saw him in May, I have dropped 10 more pounds. I was over 130 pounds and I'm 119 today. And I don't like being 119 pounds. I want to be back to 135 like I was, because I look normal. I don't, I didn't have this sunken in face, and my collarbones weren't sunken in, and I didn't look anorexic. And parts of me do look anorexic. And even though the majority of me is muscle because I'm so lean anyways, I don't eat a lot of fatty things. The doctor's worried because I look very ill. He said I don't look healthy at all, which is unusual. My hair's falling out like crazy. And as you see, it's rather long, and I have a lot of it, and it is falling out quite readily. So it's another concerning factor. I'm always thirsty. So those were certain things that he was worried about. I've had problems with sleep for like ever. And so he put me on a medication that's supposed to help me sleep. Well, I can take 10 milligrams of Valium and be up for 3 days. So that was one of the other concerning factors. When I do sleep, I only sleep for a couple hours at a time, and then I'm constantly waking up and having to get something to drink and go back to bed. And then, I get up a couple hours later and I'm thirsty again. And so it's a repeating cycle. So the thirst thing was one of the major things for him to consider whether or not I had diabetes. And it scares me because I just found out from my dad's cousin that my grandfather had it. And I know my mom's mom, I believe, had it, and only my cousin Mary might be able to answer that. I don't know. But I do believe my grandma Mary had it, so I have it on both sides of the family. And I've always had low blood sugar and low blood pressure, and now my blood pressure shot up to 30 points higher than what it normally is. For the past three times that I've seen my doctor, my blood pressure's above normal for me. And my things are just not right. So these are some things that are concerning me and that are scary. And so for those of you that have reached out to me on Facebook, some of you know me from pagan festivals. I love you guys. I've known you guys since I was 18. Some of you know me from Facebook. Some added me for games. Some are family. Some are friends. Some people I went to high school with. I really appreciate everybody sending your positive thoughts and your energy and your Reiki and everything that you've done. There's nothing I can do right now until I get the money together to pay for the testing, and then we'll go from there. But right now it's just stressful and scary. So I appreciate everybody. I thank you very much. And sorry I'm getting all girly. I don't usually cry. I'm usually pretty tough